When I first got involved with Unicity on the scientific advisory board exclusively about 3 years ago, it was just when Unimate had been released. It has quickly become my favorite product, partly because of the experiments that I'm doing in my lab with my research team, and we're learning more and more about Unimate all the time. One thing I want you to know about Unimate, and I don't mean for the conversation to dwell on this too long, Unimate is enriched with chlorogenic acids, which you've all heard about. You don't, I don't think, quite appreciate just what chlorogenic acids do. Just with this conversation in mind, and I will avoid the temptation to get off on a tangent, it has been published in previous labs that chlorogenic acids actually enhance fat burning by 24%. That's a pretty substantial increase in just the rate at which the cells are burning fat. Chlorogenic acids, I can't help myself, I'm going to tell you anyway. They also turn on an enzyme regulator, a protein regulator called PPAR-alpha. PPAR-alpha is like the circuit breaker for all these metabolic genes. When you turn that on, you're turning on a host of other genes that tell the body to start burning fat and to make more mitochondria to enable the body to be more metabolically flexible. So, just with this concept in mind, if you increase fat burning, you increase the production of ketones. And we have seen this in humans when are given Unimate from a fasting level, a relative change over 30 minutes, prolonged up to 2 hours. Ketones climbed in these fasted individuals who were just given a dose of Unimate. They went up by roughly 20%, and by the end of it was roughly 75% increase in the level of ketones in the blood. So whether you want to discuss ketones or not will be up to you as you decide what aspects of these scientific principles become part of your story, but it can be. You don't need to shy away from them, from discussing ketones. As polarizing a topic as it can be sometimes, it shouldn't be. So nevertheless, the increasing ketones we're seeing here could be a result of the known boost in lipolysis or fat burning that comes from a load of basically a good source of chlorogenic acids. Now, like I said, I have done research on this in my lab, and I just want you to humor me for a second and allow me to show you some research that we did looking at the effects of ketones on muscle. Because, of course, we all want muscle. I am desperately trying to get more muscle all the time. My sisters always say that I'm the petite brother. Yeah, but I also have the best six-pack, so I guess there's a trade-off. Okay, here's our study that we published just last year. It was all these undergraduates that led the work. I only want you to focus on a couple aspects here. And indeed, I'm putting the interpretation there because you're not in a position to really appreciate what I'm showing you just based on the data alone. On that top figure, labeled figure number E, or not number, but figure E, what we find there is that the actual amount of energy the muscle can create when it's burning fuel is not changed. So it's as energetically efficient as it ever was. It's burning energy, and it's burning fuel and creating energy for the muscle. That's still working without any compromise. The bottom figure, we found that in this instance, the actual amount of oxidative stress being produced went down. So the muscles were burning energy, and it was cleaner. Because oxidative stress you can look at as a byproduct. It's kind of like the dirty exhaust coming out of the burning of the engine as it's burning fuel. We have less exhaust, again, if you will. And so the ketones are creating a cleaner burning fuel for the muscle. All right, and indeed, we have seen this in muscle when the muscle has been exposed to, the body has been exposed to Unimate. If you actually take out a piece of muscle and determine how much energy in the form of ATP, that's the main form of energy in the muscle, is it being produced? Well, we see that it goes up about 30 to 40%. After the body has been exposed to Unimate or been fueled with Unimate. So that was a direct study from our lab. We hope to publish these results probably early next year, and indeed with a lot more that I'm not taking the time to show you. But speaking of Unimate and muscle, I have to mention my friend Zach Bitter. Zach Bitter just again broke his own record in the world record for running 100 miles faster than any other person on the planet. You'd never guess how he did it. And, well, you will, given the topic. But here he is. Here's Zach after the feat, acknowledging the role of Unimate. In fact, here is what he said about it. During the race, I used a pack of Unimate each hour, starting at hour 5, because he actually ended up running for, I think, 12. Darren, how, 12 12 hours straight. Can you guys imagine? 12 hours. So he started at hour 5. And in his words, it just gives him energy without going overboard. It's an energy that he feels like he can control. And that's certainly something I've felt as well. But I don't want to sound too much like I'm a salesman. I am not. I'm a scientist. And so I'm showing you data. My hope, again, is that it becomes part of your story. But let me keep going.